today. Um, so they talk about the RISE program in Cedar Rapids, which is a nonprofit program. It's 100% volunteers. And what they do is they help people who have been recently incarcerated or who've just gotten out of jail to get back on their feet. Yeah, so I'm only going to ask you to just stay off your phones just because. Yeah, so listen to that.
Hi, my name is Kay. I'm glad you're here, and I hope that you will find this interesting. The RISE program started about 3 years ago by a good friend of ours who had the vision that people who are coming out of incarceration really start with a lot of barriers, and how can we help them to reintegrate back into the community? And also, how can we help them so that they don't end up back in jail? And so this helps you kind of understand our purpose and our mission, that through listening, guiding, empowering individuals, that we will help to foster self-esteem and empower them to make decisions that will lead them to success in their life. I think one of the unique things about RISE is that we are not judgmental. It doesn't matter. One of our words of wisdom is that there's nothing that you've ever done that's so bad it cannot be forgiven. And when you try to improve, and that today is the first day of your life. So that is in the past, and as Gavin has addressed earlier, and also Jason, that we learn from those things and we move forward. So it's not our job as a navigator to judge you. We are here to listen to you and help you make decisions that are going to be beneficial to you. So we have grown tremendously, and our program is expanding a great deal. Before you leave today, if you would like more information about it, this is just about what RISE is all about, and this is about if you are interested in being a volunteer or a supporter, or if you want to just come and check us out. You are welcome to visit. So we have two participants here with us today that are going to share with you their story and how RISE has been of help to them. And I think the first one is Jason Smith. Oh, I want to also introduce Mary Crandall. Mary is the coordinator of our program now. Our founder just retired. So Mary has some big shoes to fill, but she's doing a great job. So this is Mary. Franco.
Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a volunteer at the RISE program. How I came about becoming a volunteer at the RISE program, I got in trouble a lot. You know, I ended up in prison a couple of times for it. But I shared more about like me, where I come from. My family was all like, my dad's family was all from California. My mom's family was all down there in Arkansas and stuff. So, you know, you take the far west coast and then the southern, don't listen to nobody, you mix them together, you end up with me. And so my mom and dad had 3 kids, my brother, my sister, and myself. Of course, I'm the most disobedient one. But when I was 3 years old, my mom left my dad because my dad was very abusive. He went over to South Korea and fought in the military. He was a tank operator. He was after the cleanup of Vietnam, because when they leave, they don't actually all leave, because that's when everyone hoorahs and stuff, you know, the military's leaving, let's attack them now while they're weak. But he was down there and he got addicted to drugs, and he came back. Was very abusive to my mom, my brother, my sister, myself. So she split off from him and took us with her, and we ended up in a homeless shelter in Waterloo, and that's where we started from. So my mom went to Coe College, got a degree in chemistry, and she cleans the water for the city of Cedar Rapids now. And the whole time she was in school, I was shipped off to live with my grandpa, so I kind of felt unwanted, you know, pushed away. You know, my sister gets to stay home, me and my brother got to go live with my grandpa, who was also, he was a Marine in World War II and cleared out the concentration camps after the war was getting over. He got drafted over there, so he wasn't accepting to even going there anyway. So he came, when he came back, he was, I guess, a whole different guy, and he kind of took it out on us. And so I felt unwanted, you know, neglected and overworked and underpaid, I'd say, because he drove us hard. And but I started to blame everybody else for my problems because I started acting out and doing what I wanted when I wanted, because I felt that was the right thing to do, because I didn't understand that discipline wasn't, you know, hatred towards me. It was discipline because he wanted me to grow up to be somebody, not like my dad, which who knows where he is today. I hope he's doing great, but I could care less to find out, honestly. So I started blaming everyone else for my problems. I started doing what I wanted. I decided I wanted to steal a pickup truck at the age of 11. And from there, I just, you know, got really out of hand and started stealing more and committing more crimes. And I ended up in multiple juvenile correctional facilities that didn't work because I didn't allow a single one to work to penetrate my thick skull. And so I ended up, you know, going to prison twice because I didn't want to learn. I didn't learn the first time. I definitely learned the second time because it was the same as the first time. And a lot of it, I would have to say, is because I didn't stay in school, because I wanted to do what I wanted. I didn't want no one telling me what to do, when I could do it, or where I could do it. I started, you know, experiencing drugs and stuff because I didn't want to stay in school. I wanted to hang out with the older crowd and do what I wanted. And it doesn't get me, and it didn't get me anywhere. I hope that you guys, you know, go home today and come back tomorrow, you know, for school. Because it's harder to fix the things that you have done when you're older, because you're older, you know. And right now, you guys still have a great future ahead of you. You have potential. You guys are still smart. You haven't penetrated your brains with the outside influence of drugs, hopefully. And I mean, you guys, I hope you choose a better lifestyle, because I'm 28 years old and I'm just figuring out that, you know, I can pay bills and live a normal life and have a driver's license instead of driving illegally, and own my own vehicle so I don't have to steal one, you know, have my own house so I don't have to break into yours. You know, it's hard to say, but if it wasn't for my life experience of being disobedient and all that, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today, volunteering for RISE and helping out, which is it's a great program. They could always use more volunteers, of people with positive, fresh minds to the world. So, I mean, it's a tough road, because what they're there for, RISE in general, is it's a stepping stone back into society. Because before you go to prison and jail, you might not have anything, and when you get out, you're definitely going to have the same thing you had before, which is nothing at all. So we're here to, you know, help people like myself, which fortunately enough, I had family to help me when I got out. My family owns a business, so I'm grateful for, you know, my mom and my stepdad for being there, even though I disagreed with him my whole life because he wasn't my biological dad. Who are you to pretend to be somebody or not? And that was my view. But I thank him to this day for being, you know, as stubborn as me by sticking around. And I mean, but the RISE program is just like all of our parents, you know. They're there for the first part of us coming into this world as a stepping stone. And if we don't use that stepping stone right, you know, you're going to try using them as a sidewalk. And I'm telling you now, you can't walk on your parents. That's the last thing you want to do, is run them out of your life, because, you know, one day they're here, one day they're gone. They're not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. We're not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. So, you know, just be grateful that you do have school available to you, and I hope you guys stay here, because I wish I would have stayed in school. Shoot, I quit going to school in 9th grade, went back to school, and somehow ended up in 11th grade, like they kept me on file or something. It was like, what's your high school level? I was like 9th grade, and it was like, oh, it says you're 11th grade level. I'm just like, okay. And it didn't work out, because I ended up going back to school. I went to Prairie, and they're very judgmental, which I hope you guys at this school, you know, aren't judgmental, because being judging doesn't hurt anybody but yourself in the long run, because the people that are your friends now while you're judging everyone else and laughing and picking on everybody, they're not going to be your friend when they go off to college or move to another state because they got a career and you're stuck here babysitting your cat because you want to be miserable. I got a cat. I babysit it all the time. So I've been there. I was a bully, you know. I'd go through your locker and put dumb stuff in there or take stuff out of it. I was a bad kid. And this school is great. I mean, why not stay here? This place is, it's actually amazing. The stuff that you guys have, like trophy cases and stuff. My school didn't have that. You were lucky to have a picture on the wall of somebody holding a trophy, because people would vandalize it and steal it. They're just, you guys got a great community. I'll tell you that now, because I've seen all walks of life. I've watched a lot of my friends die. You know, I hate to bring that up, but you know, every day I can read in the paper and look on Facebook, the news, and somebody I grew up with is dead. And I'll tell you now, 9 out of 10 of them didn't complete school. And I'd say that probably has a lot to do with it, because if you don't complete school, you have no option but to go down a road you don't want to go down, and you'll be hanging out with us at Rise, huh? You sign your admission papers, and we'll offer you a bed and a couch, and much we can do, you know, try to help you. But hopefully we don't have to go to that or come to that. I hope you guys put all the partying in the past and all the thoughts of maybe getting drunk with your friends on Friday. If that's, you know, if that is going on, you don't. Or when it does go to happen when you're in college, I mean, yeah, it's great to party and have fun, but like I said, the last group, wait till you retire if you have to. You know, wait till you got your pensions, your 401ks, your IPERs if you work for the union. Just enjoy the second half of your life, because the first half counts the most, or you're gonna wish that you did, because if you enjoy it now, you're gonna have to pay for it later. If you pay for it now, then you can enjoy life later. Because nobody's gonna hire somebody that's 60 years old when you have a 20-year-old coming in and applying for the same job. It's like, would you rather have somebody old and worn out, you know, and no offense to anybody that might be getting up there in age.
Watch it, please.
But nobody's gonna wanna hire somebody that's old. I'll tell you now, like a 60s, 70s, you know, and already, you know, using all your medical, you know, cards from your business already. So why would I want to hire you, offer you medical insurance, knowing that you're going to send my deductible and everything through the roof? I mean, that's, you gotta weigh the options. You know, there's a scale. It's like the scale of justice. You know, you gotta level that scale out, because if all the bad things start to weigh down, you know, way too much, it takes a lot more good to bring it back up. It's like, you know, your life doesn't go down the drain all in one night. So if you destroy, you know, what you got, it's not going to just take one night to fix it. And that's the biggest problem that I have, was I wanted things to change and I wanted it now. But it doesn't work like that, because it took me time to get where I was at, and it's going to take a whole lot more time to get me out of where I was at. So I didn't destroy my life in one night, I'll tell you that. It started with little stuff, like smoking cigarettes and marijuana when I was 8 years old. I mean, it was cool then, but now look at me. I live in an apartment paying $550 a month, and I do got good credit though, because when I was incarcerated, you know, I couldn't destroy my credit. So build your credit, that's a big one there. Because it helps you, especially in a time of need. Because when I got out of prison, I had nothing. I even did $10,000 in bad checks in 2008. And the bank that I did the bad checks on, it was the ones who actually loaned me the money. They said, we know where you've been. You know, this is your way to redeem yourself. It was like, we're going to help you out. They gave me a $10,000 loan. I bought a truck and a car. Of course, I wrecked the car already. I blame that on my old drug use, because I'm going to just give you a little information. When you burn holes in your brain from using drugs, you know, which comes from skipping school because you got to find something to do with your time, it doesn't heal. So I was driving down the road, you know, I had an 84 Monte Carlo SS, the first year Monte Carlo made the SS, and it was blue. And there's only one other one in the U.S. for sale, and I don't have the money for it. But I decided I wanted to switch lanes out of nowhere and not realize I was switching lanes, and went over the median and smashed into oncoming traffic and totaled out. I got pictures on my phone. But that's, you know, it's one of the repercussions of me deciding to live the life I wanted instead of listening to people that have already experienced life, such as my mom, my grandpa, the people that work at the schools. Like there's counselors at the schools that said, I want to help you. And all I thought in my head was, you want to judge me and put me in these BD classes. And that wasn't, you know, that's what I thought was going to happen. So that's what happened, because I said, I don't want BD classes. I don't want that. So here I am a month later, hating school because I'm in a BD room, and they still have the ABCs on the wall. So I'm looking at it like, now you're thinking I'm just completely dumb, and I'm throwing chairs at the teacher and stuff. And then I stopped going to school. So when you act out at home, and then it comes from home, you act out here, you know, it starts small and it gets really big. It's a snowball effect. You know, don't make a snowball. Keep it a little fluffy, soft snow. It's easier to land on. But with that, I'm going to stop talking, because I could talk to you all day about how miserable life can really get. Your parents telling you to go to bed at night, no, your friend can't come over, you're going to wait to get that Mercedes until you wreck that Ford Tempo we're going to get you for your first car. It's all for a reason. You know, and it took me to going to prison to realize that, because the problem followed me to prison. So I had nobody else to blame. I'm sitting in a cell like, man, I'm still having problems. Wonder why. It wasn't my mom, it wasn't my brother, it wasn't the people around me, it was me being too stubborn. You gotta step back and allow people to help you. Not control you necessarily, but help. If you have a problem with, you know, how somebody wants to help you, address them. I don't agree 100% and explain why, so you both have an understanding of what's going on. Because communication and commitment to even coming to school, that's your two biggest things in life, is commitment and communication. If you lose sight of either one of those, this guy will be like me standing in front of you guys, explaining what life's really about when you don't listen. But I hope you guys stay in school, because it's a good school. I wish I would have known about it. I probably would have come here when I was young. I said, hey, Mom, you want me to change my life? Send me here. But I like how there's not too many books, so it's like you don't have to make a big decision. But with that, I'll...
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. How's it going? Everybody enjoying your J semester? No, not really. How about the cold? Do you like the negative degree? Anybody ski? I ski. I love skiing, so the snow's good for me. My name's Gavin Hermanson. I am a counselor at Rise, navigator. I'm also a former participant. And so today I'm going to talk to you about overcoming adversity. And so the RISE program is designed to help people who maybe don't deserve help. So why help people who don't deserve it? Because it affects society, you, me. And I'm kind of a testament of that too. So I ended up, I grew up, I had a good life, but that little clip they showed earlier in the gymnasium, the race where the people were at the line and they said take 2 steps forward, you know, if you had this advantage. I was at the starting line for my whole life. I was always at the starting line. There was like no advantage. Single parent, only my mom, didn't know my dad, no money, all sorts of stuff. I didn't really recognize that or care about that, but life was different for me. It was just really hard. Like it's an odd thing to have to go through when you get done with football and you're sweaty, where are you going to shower? You just don't just go home to your nice parents' like 3-story house, like 4 baths, 2.5, whatever. No, you got to find one. So you go to like the Y and like get a shower for free or something like that. It's odd coming from the back of the line. But it puts a chip on your shoulder too. It's a disease of perception. So I perceived things differently. Unfair. It's not, it's somebody else's fault or whatever. And so my value system started to revolve around making myself feel better because so many things were hard. It's very hard to be in negative degree 0 weather all day because you have to. Stuff like that. And so things like drinking and weed started to become things that I thought were okay and started to... I'm not here to preach whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. What I am going to show is how life plays using factors like that. And so what ended up happening is I got into college. I got an OWI because, I was 21, I'd go out and drink. Well, I didn't think about how I was going to get home after drinking. And so I got an OWI. I ended up getting 3 in total, which sent me to prison, which is where the RISE program really comes into play here. But, and so not thinking about because drinking's legal. I was 21, it was legal, so what's the problem? The problem is when I got that OWI, I lost my scholarship, which hurt. I was an honor roll student, and then just the mess it put on my life. My grades went down. And then that snowballed, and I ended up going to prison for that 3rd OWI, which just murdered my life. I was $57,000 in debt from the OWIs. And I don't get it. I don't get anything for it either, like a car to get me to work, a work to pay for my house, a house to live in and be comfortable, food to eat and stay alive. There's no reward for the $57K. It's just money gone, which I'm not arguing with. Just showing you. The RISE program, when I went to prison, so what ended up happening in prison then, they kept canceling my class that I had to take to get out because they were getting 2 paychecks from me, and they were a for-profit corporation, not an institution of the government. And so what would happen is they get a check for me being a prisoner and a check for me being a drug rehab student, OWI rehabilitation. So every time my class would come up, they'd cancel the class. And so I had to stay in prison for another 11 months, 10 months, 11 months until the next class started. And then I'd get in, and then they'd cancel the class until they had earned all their money off of me, and I had served all the time that they could physically demand I serve. So I filed a few lawsuits, won them, and got some money for that, which helped. I was very fortunate for that. But the amount of effort that I've had to put in is through the nose. But RISE, what they did was, I didn't know where to start. When you're $57K in debt, and you don't even have your college education yet, or a stable job, don't have a license, don't have a car, no place to live. It's a crazy worldview, and it's one that I don't wish on anybody. The good news is that none of that matters. When I look back at it and I say, oh, this thing's starting to crumble me, and I know now, yeah, so what? I'm better than that. So I came from the back of that race, and they were running full tilt. I'm like, oh, you guys are so healthy, you eat well, and I'm stuck back here, and got bad clothes, things like have to safety pin because I had holes in my jeans, so I had to safety pin them and hide them with my shirt and stuff like that. I mean, it's so stressful in high school when all the people are so judgmental. I don't know if you guys, in my high school, they were pretty judgmental. What are you wearing? Is that the newest? But no, it was not the newest. I decided that I was going to overcome I didn't know how, and so I searched and found, I read books, who did it, how they did it, and all that stuff. And I used the examples of all the success stories from heroes, people who've done it, been there, and succeeded. And I can confidently say, without a doubt, I'm smoking the rest of my competition right now. Coming from all the way back there, I've done my laps. I caught all the way up. Not only am I running on the same lap as everybody else, I'm ahead of a lot of them. Not all of them. And I don't say that in a prideful way. I say it because I've overcome adversity. But I also really have to give a lot of credit where credit is due. And the RISE program, not the only one. My church and support system is huge. But the RISE program and their attitude where they, you know, oh, 57K, 3 OWIs, a menace, a rap sheet, no, we're not going to accept you, which is what 99% of any institution or people or group or whatever did, because it's just very easy to do that. And instead what they said was, wow, let's help. And that in itself, just the ability of somebody to say, I care. Why do you care about me? I don't know. I'm not worthy. I haven't done anything good at that point or whatever. But they still helped because they knew there was value in that process. They knew there was value. The most important thing in the world, the most important element or commodity or thing in this world is human beings. Without us, none of the other things matter, value of gold or any other precious commodity. So the most valuable thing is yourself, and that's true. So the investments that you make in yourself, but that also doesn't look like just pouring it all onto yourself. It looks a lot like pouring it onto other people, and that's an investment in yourself. When you go out of your way to feel uncomfortable and ask, would you like me to carry your groceries for you? I know you don't know me. You don't know if I'm going to run away with your groceries, but I'll put myself out. If I can help you, I will. I pick people up when I see them walking, especially in this cold weather. I stop and I ask them, are you okay? Would you like a ride? Homeless people that I see who in Cedar Rapids, they stand at Walmart and stuff. And I talk to them and I say, how are you doing? What do you need help with? Often I find that their problem is their perception. It's not lack of money. You can give them $1 million and they might squander it immediately. And it's because their perception. And so that was my key, was fixing my perception about the things, and everything else clicked. But the RISE program, which was just a place, it was a place to go where I could sit and people like me would tell, their stories and stuff. Mary used to say, you can like somebody, you can love somebody that you can't live with. And that's, little words of wisdom like that, tons of them all over the place with this program. But and they help me, the amount of forms. So the homework that you guys get every day, every weekend or whatever, and all that paper you have to do, that's just real life. The amount of forms every single day. And that's one of the biggest problems, that when people come in, they've got to fill out a form for a ID, medical insurance, application for housing, application for heating assistance, an application for, this, that, the other thing. They've got the sheriffs are coming after them. They need them to respond by mail. The list is immense and huge. And the focus that it takes to not forget one, because if you forget one, the whole puzzle crumbles again, and you got to restart again. But really though, and I'll close with this, is simply the idea that yourself is as valuable as it is. We all have a genuine self-worth, but does your worth extend to the fact that you feel confident you can help people, make them smile? Does your self-worth extend to the fact that you believe that you can lift people up, that you can put a stop some places to where bad stuff's going on? when somebody's getting picked on, you say, hey, leave that guy alone. Maybe that's all you do. You don't run in there and start tackling people or anything.